Sunday in Lent. As we begin this service, we'll ask God to be with us and lead us in everything that we'll be doing. Especially, we pray for our preacher who will be giving us the word of comfort, the word of encouragement in this morning service. Our service will begin on page 104. The Lord be with you.
And also with you.
Let us pray. Almighty God,
to whom all hearts are open, all desires known, and from whom no secrets are hid, cleanse the thoughts of our hearts by the inspiration of your Holy Spirit, that we may perfectly love you and worthily magnify your holy name through Christ our Lord.
Lord, have mercy.
Lord, have mercy.
Christ, have mercy.
Christ, have mercy.
Lord, have mercy.
Lord, have mercy.
Ten Commandments. Hear the commandments which God has given to his people and take them to heart. I am the Lord your God. You shall have no other gods but me.
Amen. Lord, have mercy.
You shall not make idol of anything and worship it.
Amen. Lord, have mercy.
You shall not make wrong use of the name of the Lord your God.
Amen. Lord, have mercy.
Remember the Lord's day and keep it holy.
Amen. Lord, have mercy.
Honor your father and mother.
Amen. Lord, have mercy.
You shall not commit murder.
Amen. Lord, have mercy.
You shall not commit adultery.
Amen. Lord, have mercy.
You shall not steal.
Amen. Lord, have mercy.
You shall not give false evidence.
Amen. Lord, have mercy.
You shall not covet the possession of others.
Amen. Lord, have mercy.
Let us confess our sins. Almighty God,
Our Heavenly Father, in penitence we confess that we have sinned against you through our own fault, in thought, word, and deed, and in one we have left under. For the sake of your Son, Christ our Lord, forgive us all that is past, and grant that we may serve you in newness of life, to the glory of your name.
Almighty God, who forgives all who repent, have mercy on us. Pardon our sins and set us free from them. Confirm and strengthen us in all goodness, and keep us in eternal life. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
The collect of the day. God of consolation and hope, you breathe life into the dry bones and weary souls. Pour out your Spirit upon us, that we may face despair and death in the hope of resurrection through Jesus Christ our Lord, who lives and reigns with you and the Holy Spirit, one God, now and forever. Amen. First reading.
Listen to the good news as proclaimed in the Gospel according to St. John in the 11th chapter, beginning at the first verse.
Lord, hear us.
Now a man named Lazarus was sick. He was from Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. This Mary, whose brother Lazarus now lay sick, was the same one who poured perfume on the Lord and wiped his feet with her hair. So the sister sent word to Jesus, "Lord, the one you love is sick." And then he heard this. Jesus said, "This sickness will not end in death. No, it is for God's glory, so that God's Son may be glorified through it." Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. Yet when he heard that Lazarus was sick, he stayed where he was 2 more days. And then he said to his disciples, "Let us go back to Judea." "But Rabbi," they said, "a short while ago the Jews tried to stone you, and yet you are going back there." And Jesus answered, "Are there not 12 hours of daylight? A man who walks by the day will not stumble, for he sees by this world's light. It is when he walks by night that he stumbles, for he has no light." After he had said this, he went on to tell them, "Our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I am going there to wake him up." His disciples replied, "Lord, if he sleeps, he will get better." Jesus had been speaking of his death, but his disciples thought he meant natural sleep. So then he told them plainly, "Lazarus is dead, and for your sake I am glad I was not there, so that you may believe. But let us go to him." Then Thomas, called Didymus, said to the rest of the disciples, "Let us also go that we may die with him." On his arrival, Jesus found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb for 4 days. Bethany was less than 3 kilometers from Jerusalem, and many Jews had come to Martha and Mary to comfort them in the loss of their brother. When Martha heard that Jesus was coming, she went out to meet him, but Mary stayed at home. "Lord," Martha said to Jesus, "if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But I know that even now God will give you whatever you ask." And Jesus said to her, "Your brother will rise again." Martha answered, "I know he will rise again in the resurrection at the last day." And Jesus said to her, "I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me will live, even though he dies, and whoever lives and believes in me will never die. Do you believe this?" "Yes, Lord," she told him. "I believe that you are the Christ, the Son of God, who was to come into the world." After she had said this, she went back and called her sister Mary aside. "The teacher is here," she said, "and is asking for you." When Mary heard this, she got up quickly and went to him. Now Jesus had not yet entered the village, but was still at the place where Martha had met him. When the Jews who had been with Mary in the house, comforting her, noticed how quickly she got up and went out, they followed her, supposing she was going to the tomb to mourn there. When Mary reached the place where Jesus was and saw him, she fell at his feet and said, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." When Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews who had come along with her also weeping, he was deeply moved in spirit and troubled. "Where have you laid him?" he asked. "Come see, Lord," they replied. Jesus wept. Then the Jews said, "See how he loved him." But some of them said, "Could not he who opened the eyes of the blind man have kept this man from dying?" Jesus, once more deeply moved, came to the tomb. It was a cave with a stone laid across the entrance. "Take away the stone," he said. "But Lord," said Martha, the sister of the dead man, "by this time there is a bad odor, for he had been there 4 days." And then Jesus said, "Did I not tell you that if you believed, you would see the glory of God?" And so they took away the stone. And then Jesus looked up and said, "Father, I thank you that you have heard me. I knew that you always hear me. But I said this for the benefit of the people standing here, that they may believe that you sent me." When he had said this, Jesus called in a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out." The dead man came out, his hands and feet wrapped with strips of linen, and a cloth around his face. And Jesus said to them, "Take off the grave clothes and let him go." Therefore many of the Jews who had come to visit Mary and had seen what Jesus did put their faith in him. This is the gospel of Christ. Praise to Christ. Almighty and most merciful God, we give you thanks for the opportunity to just receive your word, your written word, your spoken word. We pray, Lord, that we may truly receive your living word, Jesus Christ himself, that as he dwells within us, we may truly be able to be an example to those around us. We pray this in the name of God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Today is the fifth Sunday in Lent, as you've heard, and it's the first Sunday in our South African lockdown. And we are doing all that we can and following all the directives of those in authority to stop the spread of this COVID-19 virus. The 21 days of lockdown can be a most transforming time if we use it meaningfully. Our gospel story is about the resurrection and the life, and Lazarus was locked down in the tomb for 4 days. He had the stone that had blocked him to see real life, and we will be on lockdown for 21 days. What may seem a dark and lonely time, which holds an uncertain future, can be for us days of transformation, so that when we come to the other side of these 21 days, there will be a glorious eternal life. There will be glorious time of promise, of prospect. A great deal of fear seems to have gripped the nation as we enter the tomb of lockdown. There has been some panic buying. There has been some great amount of talk about things that may not be. There is the fear of darkness, the fear of loneliness, the fear of lifelessness, or the life that we know may not be enjoyed anymore. But it is also a time that some would want to enter and escape from the maddening crowd in this crazy world. A world with all its hurting, a world with all its brokenness, a world that is disease-ravaged, corona pandemic, poverty-stricken, a place that some would want to stay away from and hide in the tomb or be covered in darkness. Lazarus departed a chaotic world, and I'm not sure whether he wanted to really return into this craziness of this world again. And no one asked him whether he really wanted to be alive, whether he really wanted to get out of death, whether he wanted to come out of the tomb, whether he really wanted the stone to be rolled away. Was he really anticipating that kind of future? Or was he, as a good man that he was, wanting to really be in union with God? And what a terrifying and sobering feeling for him as he was brought back down to earth. And many people who have near-death experiences return to life with a new sense of purpose, a new sense of joy, a new sense of awe, at the knowledge that now they have a second chance. Now they can do something beyond what they did before. Now there is this beauty and this love that they can really experience and enjoy. But for everyone who returns with joy and purpose, there's always someone else who returns and not quite sure whether they should come back to this world. And some would say, I saw God. I saw God and felt God's love and experienced this heaven's presence and peace. And God threw me back. God said he didn't want me there now. It's not my time. God saw fit to return me to this petty human life, to this small, limited human body. And how could God do that? Why didn't God want me and keep me? So Lazarus' friend, Lazarus' dear friend Jesus, turns up. And turns out the resurrection. And the price of this friendship with Jesus is that you won't remain dead, that you will rise. And resurrection is scary because the price of resurrection is the price of responsibility. And once we are brought back to life by Jesus, we have a mission to accomplish. The moment we are given a second chance, we are compelled by the miracle to share with others the truth that they too can experience with this radical rebirth of being born again. And we strive, and even knowing that all is a free gift of God's grace, to act in some way that is worthy of this enormous cost and sacrifice that Jesus made to help us attain this. Jesus wants us to live a life of abundance. Dead, we are in eternal bliss with God. Resurrected, we have to begin a journey anew. If we're born again, then we start our life again. The journey of loving, the journey of failing, the journey of forgiving, a journey of trusting in this whole mess of joy and pain that this human spiritual life is. And the other question that torments many people who read this text is why Jesus let Lazarus die in the very first place. It's the same question that the disciples and the people were asking themselves. It's the same question that Mary and Martha ask him directly when they see him. Martha running out to demand why his love wasn't strong enough to come immediately when he was called. And Mary hiding away because she fears her anger will overwhelm her and she will lash out at him. They both make the exact same accusation. Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. How many times have we asked the same question? And sometimes in rage, and sometimes in sadness, and sometimes in confusion, sometimes in despair. Lord, if you had been here, my child would not have died. Lord, if you had been here, my ability to pay my debts would have not happened. Lord, if you had been here, my church would not have died. Lord, if you had been here, my marriage would not have been broken. Lord, if you had been here, we would have found ways to combat this virus. We would be healed. And Jesus will not save us from the cross, of course, because he will not save himself from the cross. Jesus went to the cross willingly. And he will not save us from the cross because straight through that cross is the only path to the resurrection. We get to Easter through Good Friday. Our journey in these 21 days of lockdown in South Africa must be a blissful time of prayer and of fasting. It must be a time of transforming like a pupa in a cocoon, so that when we emerge, we can enjoy that beautiful free life of brightness and prospect. Jesus weeps in this gospel. He, a respected spiritual teacher in this community, and on top of that, being the very Son of God, loses his composure completely. The pain he feels as he witnesses some of the people he is closest to on earth suddenly question their trust and their love of him. They question their belief in him. They look at him with disappointment and anger in their eyes because they believe he has failed them. And it hurts when someone we love fails him. But he will not spare himself this pain, nor will he spare Mary, Martha, and Lazarus their pain, because it is through that pain that they must travel to reach the day of the resurrection. And so it is for us. We have these 21 days, or this Sunday, of course, will be 19 days, that will take us through to Palm Sunday and Holy Week and Easter, without a physical togetherness of worship. But I want to assure you that we are together and we will be worshiping in spirit and in truth, as Jesus says, and not in buildings of stone and mortar. It seems as if we are asked to go somewhere very dark and somewhere that is very scary, a place where the authorities are crashing down on all sides, where once loving crowds turn against us and him, where we discover to our bewilderment that we are shouting at the foot of the cross his crucifixion with the crowd. He will be arrested, he will be tried, he will be convicted, he will be executed. But you know something, this will not last, for on the other side of the trials is our God, who experienced the darkness and pain and death and awaits us and says, come forth, even if we stinketh. And that is how our resurrected Lord will receive us. He will untie us and set us free. He will roll the stone away. On the other side, there will be no heavy weight, because we can skip right through if we want to. We can skip from Palm Sunday to Easter and not lie in the tomb, not stay locked down, thinking it will work out in the end. Why put ourselves through this depression, through this crucifixion stuff, and the terrible long week leading up to it? Jesus will love us anyway if we don't go through the pain. For sure Jesus will love us. He'll absolutely love us. But we will never taste the fullness of the resurrection until we go to the cross with him. We can stay safe, we can stay dead, we can keep our eyes closed and our hearts no longer beating, and our bones and spirits as dried up and motionless as the dry bones in Ezekiel's valley. It will be peaceful, but it will also be empty. Or we can go with him. We can pray and read scripture and live every day of the 21 days as walking with Jesus in real time to the last week of his life, bolstering our courage by holding fast, refusing to give up, no matter how hard it gets, we can face the truth that we can be rescued from pain, from this virus, and we can be resurrected to new life. What do we have available to us that we can offer to God and make holy? Look around and see. Take for granted our day to day. How can we make what we have an offering to God? A thanksgiving of gratitude, an acknowledgement of Christ's good news. Real life or second chances come when bone and bone come together, as we read in Ezekiel, when flesh and sinews cover the bone, and when God breathes the breath of life in us, life, refreshing life, challenging life, fulfilling life as it emerges. And so putting ourselves into the story, it can touch us to our core. We can hold on to the hope of Easter, and we live into the moments of betrayal, of grief, of injustice, of violence, of pandemic, and into the story of the Passion. And may all that we have made holy, and all that we have be made holy, and may everything that we have and everything that we do at this time of our lockdown through to after Easter be pleasing unto God, so that in our resurrected life there may be healing and true life with Jesus. Amen.
Let us pray. Lord God, we ask you to give your blessing to your church, to your church holiness, to the world peace, to this nation justice, and to all people knowledge of your law. Keep safe our families, protect the weak, heal the sick, comfort the dying, and bring us all to a joyful resurrection. We pray for those who have authority and responsibility among the nation, especially President Ramaphosa, that in ruling with wisdom and justice, he may promote peace and well-being in the world. Father, we know that you are good, and that we hear those who call upon you. Give to us and to all people what is best for us, that we may glorify you through your Son, Jesus Christ our Lord, who is alive and reigns with you in the Holy Spirit, one God, now and forever. Amen.
We, for our part, have crossed over from death to life. This we know because we love our brothers and sisters. Anyone who does not love remains in realm of death. The peace of the Lord be with you.
Peace be with you.
Blessed are you, Lord, God of all creation. Through your goodness, we have this bread to offer, which earth has given and human hands have made. For us, it becomes the bread of life.
Blessed be God forever.
Blessed are you, Lord, God of all creation. Through your goodness, we have this wine to offer, fruit of the vine and work of human hands. For us, it becomes a cup of salvation.
Blessed be God forever.
The Lord be with you.
And also with you.
Lift up your hearts.
We lift them to the Lord.
Let us give thanks to the Lord our God.
It is right to give him thanks and praise.
It is right indeed, our duty and joy, Lord and Heavenly Father, God Almighty and eternal, always and everywhere to give you thanks through Jesus Christ, your only Son, our Lord. And now we give you thanks because he has promised that those who believe in him, though they die, shall live. Therefore, with angels and archangels, and with all the company of heaven, we acclaim you and declare the greatness of your glory. We praise you now and forever, saying,
Holy, holy, holy Lord, God of power and might, heaven and earth are full of your glory. Hosanna in the highest. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Hosanna in the highest.
Hear us, Father, through your Son Christ our Lord. Through him accept offering of thanks and praise, and send the Holy Spirit upon us and upon these gifts of bread and wine, so that they may be to us his body and his blood. For on the night that was betrayed, he took bread and will give you thanks. He broke it and gave it to the disciples, saying, "Take this and eat. This is my body which is given for you. Do this in remembrance of me." So too, after supper, he took the cup, and when he gave you thanks, he gave it to them, saying, "Drink of it, all of you, for this is my blood of the new covenant, which is shed for you and for many for the forgiveness of sins. Whenever you drink it, do this in remembrance of me." So we proclaim the mystery of faith.
Christ has died, Christ has risen, Christ will come again.
Holy Father, with these your gifts, we your people celebrate for you the one perfect sacrifice of Christ our Lord, his rising from the dead and his ascending to the glory of heaven. Gracious Lord, accept us in him and with him, though we are, so that we who share in the body and blood of your Son may be made one with all the people of this and every age. Grant that as we is waiting the coming of Christ our Savior, in the glory and triumph of his kingdom, we may daily grow into his likeness, with whom and in whom and through whom, by the power of the Holy Spirit, of glory and honor be given to you, Almighty Father, by the whole company of earth and heaven, throughout all ages, now and forever. Amen. As Christ has taught us, we are bold to say, Our Father in heaven,
Hallowed be your name.
hallowed be your name.
Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our sins, as we forgive those Save us from the time of trial, and deliver us from evil. For the kingdom, the power, and the glory are yours, now and forever. Amen.
The bread which we break, is it not the sharing of the body of Christ?
We who are many are one body, for we all partake of the one bread.
Lamb of God, have mercy on us. Jesus, bearer of our sins,
Have mercy on us. Jesus, Redeemer of the world, give us your peace.
we do not presume
To come to this your table, merciful Lord, trusting in our own righteousness, but in your manifold and great mercies, we are not worthy so much as to gather crumbs under your table. But you are the same Lord, whose nature is always to have mercy. Grant us therefore, gracious Lord, so to eat the flesh of your dear Son, Jesus Christ, and to drink his blood, that we may evermore dwell in him and in him.
brothers, draw near and receive the body of the Lord Jesus Christ which he gave for you, and his blood which he shed for you. We don't leave your hearts by faith in thanksgiving. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is gracious.
His mercy endures forever.
Almighty and eternal God, we thank you for filling us in these holy mysteries with the body and blood of your Son, our Savior Jesus Christ, and for keeping us by your grace in the body of your Son, accompanied of all faithful people. Help us to persevere as living members of that holy fellowship, and to grow in love and obedience according to your will through Jesus Christ our Lord, who lives and reigns with you and the Holy Spirit, one God, now and forever.
Amen.
Father Almighty,
We offer ourselves to you as a living sacrifice in Jesus Christ our Lord. Send us out into the world in the power of the Holy Spirit to live and work to your praise and glory.
the peace of God which passes all understanding, keep your hearts and minds in the knowledge and love of your God and of your Son, Jesus Christ our Lord, and the blessing of God Almighty, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, be among us and remain with us always. Amen. Go in peace to love and serve the Lord.
In the name of